This is a weird day. So I'm in my car. I shouldn't say it's weird. I have nothing to complain about. I shouldn't have parked here either because the sun is in my face, but that's all right. Or will be in my face soon. I got up on the wrong side of the bed for some reason. I haven't had any coffee yet. And what time is it? 9:30. That's probably not good for me. So my body likes coffee like at, I don't know, as soon as I wake up. The closer to waking up, the better. So I'm a little late. I got my Americano right here. So by the end of this stream, I'll probably be like um, hyped up, you know? I also am picky about my coffee. I had to be out of the house by like 9. I didn't want to be, but because of certain things that happened, I couldn't stay at home and do the live stream, which I really want to because I can relax a little bit. It's not that comfortable to sit in the car and I had to like prop it up. Hey Wendy, hey Terry, and Jess. So yeah, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and it's already been a weird kind of my day's kind of been thrown off. That's the point. So that's why I'm in the car. But I had a good excuse to go get some of my favorite coffee from a local place. Like, well, I shouldn't say that. The local place around here is not good. So I had to go 15 minutes out of the way, which is fine. I'm picky about coffee, so I was like, I'm going to go to the one I'd like to go to, which is farther. And here in Indiana, I don't know my way around yet. I know my way to work. I know my way to the grocery store, and I don't know my way to like. I've lived here a year. It's going to be 2 years in the summer, and I still don't know my way around because I don't do anything, and I go back to Illinois a lot. So I know more places there. But anyway, it's really good. Let me get a couple sips of coffee before I really start. So the chat, so I have my phone on the side and the chat pops up weird. So hey Jake, I saw Jeremy too. So I probably look like a weirdo talking to my phone. That's fine. People can look weird all the time and it doesn't matter. So whatever. I was thinking about my title though because it says don't follow formula. But how ironic is life that for work, part of my new job duties hold on one sec. Part of my job duties is looking at formulas, making sure formulas are correct. So I think it's really ironic that in my job I look at those data points and formulas, but I'm going to be talking about real life, not work, not numbers, not percentages. And I'm really annoyed because my little pinned comment bar is right where my eye line is. And so when I'm looking at the camera, I have this big bar across my eyes. So yeah. Whew. I think in real life, there are no true formulas. And I think I can say that. Not everyone may agree with me. That's true. Yes, you're right, Wendy. But that's not necessarily a formula. Maybe I'm contradicting myself because my poem, mood, mode, and means, that's kind of formulaic. However, not everything works for everybody. And I think maybe I should change that word. There's a reason I chose it, and I'll tell you why. So when I grew up in the church, and those of you that didn't grow up in church, I would say, we all have different, yes, the dismissed bar, Jake, yeah. We all have different backgrounds, but for me, I would say maybe be thankful that you didn't have to work your way out of that system, because they do put things in black and white a lot more than I think they should. And I don't have anybody in mind when I say these things, so I'm not talking against anybody. It's just there is no tried and true formula except for what Wendy said, um, but that's really all you need. And I feel like the system of the church brings about a lot of formulas that they say work, and maybe they do work for a time, but they don't stick. If that makes sense. If I don't make sense, that's okay. If I don't make sense, let me know. So yeah, I wanted to go to First Kings because I love Elijah. Sorry, I cannot speak. More coffee. I love Elijah. He is a powerhouse prophet who went against evil full force. That's right, Jess. I agree with you on that. Elijah was a full force prophet. But then, of course, spiritual battle drains you. So he had those moments too. And he was brave and he fought a long time against Jezebel and Ahab and their cronies. But along the way, he also showed Yah's power to people. So my main focus, and I know Pseudo mentioned him prophesying about the drought, so I can touch on that a little bit. I don't know if this Friday morning thing is working for me, guys. I'm just going to have to try, I'll be honest. After long days at work, I feel like my brain is very methodical and it doesn't function as well on Friday mornings. So I will go through, I won't read the whole thing, but I will go through, I'll read the whole story of the widow at Zarephath, and then I will highlight chapters 18 where it talks about, the part where we all know what Elijah is famous for. Ooh, I like pancakes, David. Thank you. Okay, so when I was thinking about this title, the formula could be just as simple as faith. No one can tell you how to have faith. The church can't say, just believe. There's a lot more to it, and I think that's why people don't understand, or that's why it doesn't stick. It's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. You can have your opinions, I can have mine. And I can just hear in my head all these Christianese sayings, which I haven't made that video yet, but of what they mean and how they mean that, and discipleship, and then you gotta join the church, blah, 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 blah. That's their formula. Let me start with that. That's their formula. You come to faith, you join, you go under their authority, you take on their teaching. They will teach you their ways the way they want you to know it, and then they'll tell you what not to go to and what to go to. I'm not kidding. And I don't mean to be mean about it. I really don't like it. There's so much more in life. Sorry, Pseudo. That's okay. Hey, Alki and MMA. I see you too. I just can't stand formulaic living like that in the church. And I used to be that way. I used to think there were just those certain ways of living, and the church really does get involved in your life like that. They get involved with your family like that. I just, not that I don't want to be around people, but like Jess said, like we all have different things, and nobody's really normal and all this stuff. Sorry, the sun is really throwing my way on. Oh, I want to get rid of this bar. Is that in your guys' way? Can you? Is it in front of my face for you guys? Shit. Hold on. Here. Is that good? Oh, come on. Yeah, rotate. What is going on? Hold up. Okay, let's see. Yeah, rotate. Now it's saying my rotate is on lock. Is that good? Okay. Awkward. Oh, it won't, Wendy? Well, F that. Okay, that's okay. I'm just kidding. I've been in a mood this week. Okay. Okay. Let's get down to what we're doing. So I gotta sit up because I'm short, Wendy. Hey, Skull. Yes. Someone's calling me. No, I don't know who that is. Yes, it is our faux spring today in the Midwest. In the northern Midwest, it's gonna be like 60 today. So I turned the heat off. I opened the windows. I'm not wearing a coat. Yeah. No, did you see me? I had to sit up. I am sitting on my legs so I can be taller on the screen. It is sunny. Oh my gosh. We actually, oh, Wendy, wow. It's 51 here already, Wendy. Beat you. Nope, I have to sit on my leg to sit at a normal person's height. Yeah, I'm only 5'3". What was I gonna say? Oh, the strangest thing. So it's super sunny here and windy, of course. It's always windy when it's warm. But last night there was this patchy lightning. It was so freaking weird, which of course they probably did something. Yeah, because there were tons of X's in the sky. So then the freaky lightning came, just spitting rain for like 10 minutes. And then it hailed. And then it was done. It was stupid. It really freaked my daughter out. I really felt bad, but Elkie, I don't know the conversion into Fahrenheit. I'm just rambling now, guys. The coffee's starting to take effect. I've tried to get off coffee. I can't. Yeah. I saw a couple flashes of lightning on the way home from work, which was like 7 o'clock. Oh, damn those X's. I see streaks too. Here now. Oh, I can show you. It's stupid. Right there. It's not a pretty sky, but the sun is nice. We need the sun. Okay. This is good coffee. All right, so I'm going to show you how, to me, and this is just how I'm reading it. Yeah, probably pseudo. It's stupid. Purple lightning. Okay. I really wanted to dive in more to, and I don't really know where I'm going with this. This is the first time I'm reading this. I'm trying to be, I don't want to be off the cuff all the time, but one, I don't have always time to like deep dive into things. And then I also like to read it along with you just because we're reading it together. I am nobody that really knows anything more than anybody. We're all learning, so I just want to learn together. I don't want it to be a Well, let's listen to Andrea D spout off her thoughts. I just want to read together. Okay, so Elijah and the widow of Zarephath. And this is 1 Kings 17, verse 8. Then Yahweh spoke his word to Elijah. Get up, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and stay there. I've commanded a widow there to feed you. So remember that part. I've commanded a widow to feed you. He got up and went to Zarephath. As he came to the town's entrance, a widow was gathering wood. He called to her, please bring me a drink of water. As she was going to get it, he called her again. Please bring me a piece of bread, too. She said, I solemnly swear as Yah, your El, lives, I didn't bake any bread. I have one handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a jug. I'm gathering wood. I'm going to prepare something for myself and my son so that we can eat it and then die. So she was preparing their last meal. That's how bad this drought was. Now, let's just stop there. Hold on. I do think about this a lot. Yah said to Elijah, I have commanded a widow there to feed you. Oh, I could get on a rap trail about this. So, but I really don't have an answer for it. Yah commanded the widow, so we can assume he put it on her heart because she didn't indicate to Elijah that she knew anything about this. She didn't say, oh, God spoke to me and told me you were coming, right? Okay. On the flip side, Elijah had those times often where God told him things specifically to tell other people, and then he would say, thus saith the Lord, People have things placed on their hearts by God, by Yah, without realizing it. And I think that can go for anybody. I've had it happen to me. I've had it happen the other way too, where something's spoken directly. So that's interesting. Yah told Elijah, I've commanded her. So he really moved in her heart. Remember last time we talked about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Proverbs 3, 5 through 8. It's about the heart. Okay. However, she didn't know anything. And then Elijah encouraged her, don't be afraid. So that's in verse 13. Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you've said. Make that last meal. But first make a small loaf and bring it to me. Then prepare something for yourself and your son. This is what El of Israel says. Until Yahweh sends rain on the land, a jar of flour will never be empty and the jug will always contain oil. She did what Elijah had told her, so she, Elijah, and her family had food for a long time. The jar of flour never became empty, and the jug always contained olive oil, as Yah had promised through Elijah. So the promise was through Elijah, the commandment was through the widow. But he knew her heart, he knew her willingness. She didn't say, no way, strange man, my son and I are going to die. You're not getting any of my food. You already put it in her heart. Mm-hmm. Right, Wendy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Verse 17. Afterwards, the son of the woman who owned the house got sick. He got so sick that finally no life was left in him. And that's an interesting phrase. It doesn't say he died. It said no life was left in him. Does that mean his soul left his body? Does it mean his heart stopped beating? All of his functioning of his physical body stopped? No breath. Mm-hmm. Yep, and we're going to see how Elijah brought breath back in. Verse 18, the woman asked Elijah, what do you and I have in common, man of El? Did you come here to remind me of my sin and kill my son? So there's still that thought, and we saw Yeshua had to also come across this in people's understanding of what have I done to um, have this hardship brought upon me. Sorry, the comments are disappearing on this um, format. So I saw what you said, David. You're right. Life is in the blood. Who said life is in the blood? Hi, Tony. That's right, Nathan. I think because Yah had already put it in her heart that it was going to be that way. So yeah, life is in the blood. I was thinking that was he already yeah, his body had drained what was there. I don't know. I'm just thinking. He said to her, "Give me your son." Elijah took him from her arms, carried him to the upstairs room where he was staying, and laid him on his own bed. Then he called to Yah, "Yah, my El, have you brought misery on the widow I'm staying with by killing her son?" So he didn't even know. He didn't get no word from Yah. Bruce. He didn't. He he only knew, which again, this is the second time I'm really coming to grips with this. You only know things in parts. Yah does not give you the whole picture all the time. He never gives you the whole picture. I've never gotten a whole picture from Yah at once. It's too much to handle. We're only human. I take it back. It's not too much to handle. It's too we would take it and run, we'd run the opposite way. It's my opinion. It's my opinion of my experience. So he was even asking, right, what we might do or might not do, depending on that. Right, Wendy. Yeah. It takes a lot. That's why I say there is no formula to do that. And to the point of when someone over here, the proverbial someone over here says, I think this is what Yah said to me, and it contradicts what someone else says Yah said to me over here, and that person, it can get so dicey, and you can only really know what Yah speaks to you. You can't know what other people hear from him, and we all hear from him so differently. It's Elijah was this powerhouse. This woman was a humble mother, widow, who was just trying to survive. So even now Elijah's good because he's always going back and forth. Okay, yeah, you saved us from this drought. You've provided for food, and now all of a sudden, all this worse is happening. He's dead anyways. This was her whole point of believing my word that you gave to me, saying, I will provide for you and this widow and her family. And then, what has happened. So, hey, Lev. I might just be rambling. I'm sorry. Just take my thoughts and say what you'd like. 11 and 8 in the chat. Okay, so, and it's okay to question. He's not losing his belief or whatever he's asking. This is a prayer. I pray like this a lot. Verse 21. Then Elijah stretched himself over the boy 3 times and called to Yah, Yah, my El, please make this child's life return to him. Yah heard Elijah's request, and the child's life returned to him. He was alive again. Elijah took the child, brought him down from the upstairs room of the house, and gave him to his mother. He said, look, your son is alive. And the woman said to Elijah, now I'm convinced that you're a man of El, and that the word of Yah from your mouth is true. So there you go, Skull. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know if he was some crazy man. She knew after the son had been brought to life. So in this one it says, now I can't quite remember. There's another story where the boy, this is where it can get confusing. There was a boy who was sick and he died. Was that Elisha? Something super similar happened to Elisha, but he breathed like CPR into the boy. But anyways, this one in particular, I like that. I do think his life was not left in him. This is my opinion again. His life meant that his soul had left his body because Yah brought his life back. So did he send his soul back? Correct? I think that's how I interpret it. Okay, so I'll touch on the other points too. There was no formula besides hearing step by step. I'm not saying there's no steps to take. I'm saying there's no formula to follow of how to walk in the way. I'm reading from the Names of Yah, Names of God Bible. The one reason I read from this is because it does say Yahweh and Yah, or the different names of God. Oh, can you see it? The other reason I read from this is because I lost my NASD, which was my favorite. I lost that like 10 years ago. And I never found it again. Sorry. I'm always leery about who's getting out of their car and stuff. But guy looks tired. He needs some coffee. Okay, so there was no formula to follow. It was just Yah's word saying, Elijah, go. I've already prepared this woman. She had no idea what was going on. I know, yeah, David. And that's my whole point of, I don't know why I even said I use this Bible. I just use this because it's what I have. Oh, precious moments. Made me back to my childhood. Yeah, the language is dumbed down. I will say any translation, so no worries, pseudo. Any translation is truly dumbed down. Right? Yeah. Nostalgia. Our English language is dumbed down. That's why with Wendy speaking the audio, and I'm looking into that more as I can. You have to, again, there's no formula. There's no, let's look at this Bible verse and that's what it is for you. And this is what it says. And this is what you have to do because 1, 2, 3, kind of like, I'm going to say it like the Romans road. I didn't ever use that because it's so different for people. I can't explain it. I feel like I can't explain myself a lot lately. It's all in my head, very clear, and then when I try to get it out, it's not. Because there's so much more to life. There's so much more to the Bible and what is this, like I said, the spoken and the written word. And there's so much more to these stories, and it's not cut and dry. I was just watching yeah, right, Nathan, yeah. Ugh, don't get me started. They had, okay, let's take it this way. And this is funny about the church, and I hate it. I hate this part. I don't hate the church. I don't hate people. I hate the church system. I don't hate people. Let me get on my soapbox. The Old Testament believers, these powerhouse men of Yah who were facing pagan kings and these demonic entities of Baal and all these other things, they did not have scripture. They didn't. They had the Spirit, they had communion with the Most High. Maybe Skull, but maybe some. I truly believe Elijah, I don't know, for me, I believe he was a real person. So there is no formula of the Romans road. Let's just say that. There's no formula of, you know, let's take these 3 passages and this will fix, this will fix your situation. You have to go instance by instance. And it's different for everybody. Elijah went every step by what Yah said. Yeah, David, that's a good point. Not self. Wow, I closed my Bible because I got on such a rant and I shouldn't have. Right, Wendy. Yeah, it is written. I know. Me too. Believe me, I hear it a lot in my personal life. A lot. That's where I think the term Bible thumpers came from. Oh, I was going to say, I'm sorry, I got on that rant and I lost my train of thought. But I was going to say what the church does is, I got to sit up again. Sorry, my foot's falling asleep because I'm old. I'm not old. I'm never getting old. I'm never getting old. Okay. I lost my train of thought again. Let me get it back because it was really good. What I was going to say was really good. Oh, this is what the church, yes, thank you. This is what the church says. And I'm going to say that word I hate. And I used to love it. So in Bible college, they loved the word dispensation. Dispensationalism is super manipulative. It's super formulaic. It's super man-based thought and interpretation. If you go to any pastor, they will say, and you say to them, dispensationalism is that there are certain points in time that the way that God worked in the Old Testament versus the New Testament, and that based on the Old and the New Covenant, and it's basically dispensations or points in time and how God is working in those points in time. And Ryan, so that's the definition. So they will say to you, if you say, well, Elijah didn't have scripture, he went by the Spirit's moving and leading. And they will say, well, he didn't have scripture because it was a different dispensation. And they did not have the full scripture that we do now. That's what they say all the time. They did not have full scripture. Well, let me tell you, these full scriptures, this is not even all of the full scripture, these 66 books. And there's more to this. This is what they wanted to put out there. I even question what's in here. Shouldn't always be canon. Canon is things that are deemed legit words of Yah. Right. Um, it takes 33 years to read. Oh, but Nathan, you have to read this every day. The first moment you wake up, and you have to read it. There's the formula again. You have to read it in your daily devotionals. And if you don't stay in the Word of God, you will go astray. It's not. I'm being really facetious. I'm not kidding though. I told someone recently I got more out of Proverbs 3:5-8 one day for 5 minutes, and it took me through the whole weekend. And I got more powerhouse stuff out of those verses. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'll get off the soapbox now. That's an even a dumbed down way to think. That's a dumbed down way to. You want to lower your frequency. um, I mean, you have to be careful. I'm not saying just you know, go helter skelter and say, "Oh, the spirit told me this, and the spirit told me that." I mean, I've done that too. Obviously, in my younger years, I could do it now. So I probably look really stupid in front of these people. It's okay. All right. So what I mainly wanted to get from chapter 17 and that part was there was no formula of faith. There was no formula of, if you do this, I will do this for you. And they even, if you noticed, Elijah and that woman even thought, okay, why is this happening? Is there something I did? Is there a cause and effect of this happening? But there wasn't. Um, it was just step by step. Okay, go to her home. You're not going to die in this drought. She thought she was going to die. She didn't and like I said, she didn't know who this guy was. She didn't know he was truly a holy man or a trustworthy person until he had the Spirit's power shown when her son came back to life. So um, I'll skim chapter 18 a little bit because it does talk about what you wanted to pseudo with the drought ending, the drought starting and the drought ending with King Ahab. So I might we'll see where the Spirit, where I need to stop. All right. A while later, in the 3rd year of the drought, Yah spoke his word, spoke to Elijah. Yeah, these poor people who could bring down whole nations by just Yah's spoken word were you know, they were missing out. No, they weren't missing out. They were I'll use the word powerhouse. I guess that's the buzzword of the day for me. They were powerhouses because they had the spiritual power. Um, you know, hey, yeah, Nathan, sure, I'll take it. Bring that on. I wish, yeah, come on, bring it on. A download, right? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. Present yourself to Ahab. So he's saying, I didn't see what Wendy said. I'm sorry. I'll have to read back because these disappear. I'm a fast reader, but I'm not that fast. So Yah said to him, here's your first step. So I'm not saying don't follow steps in order. I'm saying there's no formulaic equation for doing things. It's probably different every time. You'll see patterns sometimes too, but it's not the same formula. You're right, Nathan. Thank you. You're right. It is. All the number stuff, they're probably all positive. They just like to twist it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So Yah said, first step. I put that in. That's Andrea's version. present yourself to Ahab. I will allow rain to fall on the ground. So Elijah went to present himself to Ahab. The famine was particularly severe in Samaria. Ahab sent for Obadiah, who was in charge of the palace. Obadiah was a devout worshiper of Yah. When Jezebel was killing Yah's prophets, Obadiah had hidden 100 prophets in caves. He put 50 prophets in each cave and kept them alive by providing bread and water for them. Ahab told Obadiah, let's go throughout the countryside to every spring and stream. If we can find grass, then we can keep the horses and mules alive and not lose any animals. So they split up in order to cover the entire countryside. One way by himself, and Obadiah went the other way. Obadiah went to the road and met Elijah. Hold on, the sun. Obadiah recognized him and immediately bowed down to the ground. Is it you, my master, Elijah? He asked. Yes, Elijah answered him. Tell your master that Elijah is here. Okay, so he's saying, you tell that King Ahab I am here. He couldn't have faced King Ahab alone. It was Yah's power in him. And that's kind of how you feel when you know that you have the Spirit in. I can't explain it. And last weekend I had a moment where he just gave me so much truth for someone and I couldn't stop. And actually afterwards I felt super tired. It took everything out of me to give someone a word of truth. It's amazing, but at the same time it's supernatural power. That's what it is. So he was ready. He was ready to face. Just like when Yah said, I have commanded the widow, he commanded Elijah by word, but he put in Elijah's heart that power. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just flows. You just can't, when the Spirit puts something to give, it just comes out. You just can't even stop it. And it's very clear. It's very precise. It's just very clear. Devout. Well, I don't know, Nathan. What's it mean to you? Oh, seriously, I'm asking. Go ahead, and I don't know. But I think this was a time, obviously, when the people that this was terrible times for people that were against the authority of King Ahab and Jezebel. I mean, they were killing anybody. They were enemies of the state, Yeah. I don't want to get into sacrifices. That stuff's a little weird. Okay. Obadiah asked, what have I done wrong to make you hand me over to Ahab to be killed? So again, they're saying, what sin have I done to make this happen to me? People still believe that a lot. I solemnly swear, as Yah your El lives, my master has searched for you in every region and kingdom. When people would say he isn't here, my master made that kingdom or region take an oath that they hadn't found you. So Ahab's really hunting for Elijah. Yeah, they do, Bruce. You're right. Mm-hmm. Now you say, tell your master that Elijah is here. This is what will happen when I leave you. The Ruach, so that's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, will take you away to some unknown place. I'll tell Ahab, but he won't be able to find you. Then he will kill me. I have been faithful to Yah since I was a child. Haven't you heard what I did when Jezebel killed Yah's prophets? Haven't you heard how I hid 100 of Yah's prophets in caves? I hid 50 prophets in each cave and provided bread and water for them. Now you say that I should tell my master that Elijah is here. He will kill me. Elijah said, I solemnly swear, as Yah Sabaoth, whom I serve, lives, I will present myself to Ahab. So Obadiah went to tell Ahab. So the couple names here. So Yah is the Most High. Ruach is the Holy Spirit. Yah Sabaoth is the commander of angel armies. And so he's saying, Yah, as the commander going into this spiritual battle, is leading me now. Okay. Which I'm going to say it again if I haven't said it already on another video. There is a phenomenal oratorio by Mendelssohn of this story, and I sang it. The only thing I miss about church is choir. Um, the church I was at from 16 to 28 or so, we had a wonderful choir director. He really was musically gifted. Um, he could play multiple instruments. His voice was phenomenal. He knew every little detail of notes. I don't read music. I sing. I don't read music. The way I had to learn the alto part for the oratorio was memorization. And if I heard it today, I can probably still remember my alto parts. But if you want to hear something super inspirational and powerful, look up Mendelssohn's Elijah and listen to the whole thing. It's awesome. There's solo parts for each, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and then it tells the whole Elijah story. But yeah, listen to Mendelssohn's Elijah if you've never heard that before. It is powerful. I love it. And the part that was always funny to me singing that was the choir. So one, I think it's the tenor. Um, the tenor soloist is Elijah, and then the choir would be the prophets of Baal. And so as we would sing hear and answer, there was that going back and forth singing of the battle between the prophets of Baal and Elijah. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, Mendelssohn's Elijah. Um, yeah, no, you're right. I guess good. I'm in good company. You have to have an ear for it, though, I guess. But yeah, I miss singing in choir. There's no opportunities. I don't have any time. But for me too, singing has to be part of. Um, I don't know. I've struggled to sing lately. Oh, this is a little side note just about me, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't share. This is like a vulnerable part of me, vulnerable part. Um, with the past few years, I've struggled. I kind of lost that desire to sing, and I'm just now getting it back. Um, Singing is very healing, like you said, and freeing. Um, but when you don't practice it, you don't. Um, you get out of practice. My voice used to be very strong, and now it's not. But it's just you have to build up your diaphragm muscles and things like that. Right? You don't use it, you lose it. So I haven't lost it completely, but yeah, Wendy. It's just part of who Yah makes us to be. Um, yeah, but singing really is freeing for me. But I want to get back to like fully understanding what's stopping me from singing. I don't know. Anyway, that was way off track. Um, okay, so I love the way I start a corkscrew. I'm an alto. Well, I don't know, what is everybody? We can harmonize really well. I like harmonizing. Um, I don't know if I'm a true, I guess I am a true alto. You know who else was a true alto? Um, Karen Carpenter was a true alto. I think, a true alto, meaning I can actually hit tenor notes pretty well. And then you're probably a bass, Tony. Who are you kidding? Um, but I can also hit I can hit soprano notes if I practice. Um, so yeah, I have a wide range. I did take voice lessons for like a few months, and my teacher said I have a wide range. So if I practiced, if I got my voice where it needs to be. I probably could do a lot with it. Enough about me. Okay. Listen to Mendelssohn's Elijah. Okay, so he is ready for battle. He's saying Yah Sabaoth, which is um the head of the angel armies, the commander. He is going before him. This is how he's knowing that he's going forward with this battle. He has the spirit in him. So each point, it's all set, kind of like what Wendy said. You have Yah, the commander, and then the spirit working in Elijah. He's ready to face this demonic evil king. Another point I want to make is how not all the time does the church talk about these pagans clearly. Hey, Snowy, thank you for coming. All right, so I'm probably not going to read about the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. I'll just summarize the story. So here comes the sacrifice and the altar, which I won't get into either. But let me just read verse 18 of 18. Elijah answered, I haven't troubled Israel. So Ahab said, hey, you troublemaker, which I doubt. Again, dumbed down language. Do you think a pagan king would have said, you troublemaker? You're right. He probably said the worst cuss words of the time. I can see perfectly when I dream. What eyes do you suppose I'm using? Oh. Depends on the dream. Okay, another side note, David. When you dream, you could be going into the spiritual realm, like Wendy said, spiritualized. Thanks, Wendy. Oh, we're resonating. You could see with your spiritual eyes in the spiritual realm. Sometimes dreams are just your thoughts reverberating in your conscience to work things out. Yep, I know, Wendy. I love it. So yeah, you have to. Neither do I, Nathan. This is me getting out, me talking in the coffee shop parking lot. I don't get out much either. What time is it? I don't even know. Okay, this is really bad. 10:30. I am a homebody. I am. My home is my sanctuary, which drives me nuts. That's why I wanted to do this live stream at home, and I like couldn't be at home. Right? What's getting out? Oh, that's the other thing I was thinking. I was like, you guys, I have to dress like I can't dress down for work ever, and so every time you guys see me now, I'm like in a hoodie. I'll always be in a hoodie. It's funny. Not that you care. I'm just saying. Yeah, Friyay. Okay. I'm getting off track. Okay. So, yeah, I doubt Ahab said, you troublemaker. I mean, I won't say what I think he really said. So Elijah answered, I haven't troubled Israel. You and your father's family have done it by disobeying God's commands and following various Baal gods. So he's saying, bleepity bleep, you MFer, you've been following Baal. Okay. Which is Baal is I believe, a higher entity out there against the Most High. Anyways, we can't get into that because I'm not all the way clear about that, but yeah. Order all Israel to gather around me on Mount Carmel and bring the 450 prophets. I don't know, pseudo. Okay, side note again. Let's talk about these entities. I do Let me think about that. Baal could be Satan. No, no, don't be sorry. I have to. It's good to talk these things out because we all have different points of view. Um, yeah, Baal, I think, is not Satan himself. There's a lot of different entities in the spiritual realm, and there's different rankings. Just like Yah, the Most High, has his rankings of angels. I'm of the opinion that even, and you could take this or leave it, I believe Jehovah is also a imposter, and I haven't fully looked into this. I need to. I've looked into it about a fourth of a way out of a whole, maybe even, well, yeah, maybe less than a fourth. So I think Jehovah is a separate entity than the Most High, and I think he poses as the Most High, and Israel was confused. Right, Wendy? There are multiple Elohim. There's one true El, the Most High. That's why you'll hear me say the Most High. When I say the Most High, I'm talking about the one that is above everything, the Creator. I know Melissa's not here, but she says the Creator. That's who I'm talking about. The one that I worship. You do what you want with it. Yeah, and in this Bible it says lowercase g. Elohim is a plural word. So I think Yahweh is the Most High. Jehovah, I think, is a different entity. I'm not sure if it's Satan. I have to look into that. But there are so many more Elohim in the spiritual realm than we are ever told. So you kind of have to just keep searching about that. But yes, fallen sons of Yah. So I don't think it's Satan necessarily. I think he does a lot of, oh, you go here and you go there. And they're posers. So these pagan idols were not just golden statues. These were entities moving through these people. That's why it was so wrong. That's why Elijah needed the Holy Spirit to go before this king Ahab and Jezebel and against these prophets of Baal. Because think about it, if these prophets were just going through their own motions, going through their own power, there would have not been power to move people anyway. There would be no swaying of the nations if there wasn't some power behind it. So that was the point Elijah needed to make, was you have no power against the Most High. So it's always hot up in here. I don't mind. It's fire. It's from the Spirit. Okay. So he's telling them, bring everybody to the Mount Carmel. We will see what's what. You will see that you have no power. Oh, Wendy. We both need new phones. I'm surprised I got your text, Wendy. Your phone is funny. All right. So Ahab sent word to the Israelites and brought the prophets together on Mount Carmel. Elijah stood up in front of all the people and asked them, how long will you try to have it both ways? If Yah is El, follow him. If Baal is El, follow him. The people didn't say a word. So Elijah told the people, I'm the only surviving prophet of Yah, but there are 400 prophets, 450 prophets of Baal. Okay, so they say, build this altar. And then he says, you call on the name of your gods, but I will call on the name of Yahweh, the God who answers by fire, is the real El. All the people answered, that's fine. Um, we, we talk about dumbed down language. People said, that's fine, whatever. Whatever. Um, answering by fire. See, it is hot, right? Who said it's hot? I will, David. I'll hang out with you in paradise. Mm. Some good conversations about uh, Mount Meru and everything this past week. Okay. Um, or what the North Pole is. Yeah, we're starting a choir. Who's gonna be the director? I want to start a band. So I play around on the drums. I don't play the drums. I just play around. Oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, okay. I could be a backup singer for anybody. I'm not a lead singer. I'll be a backup singer. Okay. So, they start yelling to Baal, and in Mendelssohn's Elijah, we sang, hear us, Baal, hear an answer. Um, those are the actual lyrics. Hear an answer, and then there's silence, and then we'd say, hear an answer, and then there was silence. I'm not gonna sing it, not today. Um, so then when it was Elijah's turn, oh, and I forgot to say, so these prophets of Baal went all out. They started cutting themselves and like falling on the ground like all night. And um and then Elijah, this, I'll read what Elijah says, but of course he's probably cussing him out again. So he's mocking them, and he says, shout louder. Maybe he's thinking or relieving himself. Maybe he's taking a piss, right? That's what he's saying. He probably said that. He's sleeping. Wake him up. So they shouted louder. They cut themselves with spears and swords, and blood was flying all over the place. I mean, I heard this. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little loud. I'm sorry. I heard this story as a child, and they never, tell you the full story because it's so gory. The Bible's so gory. Now, it's just funny to think. I mean, this is disgusting. Men, um, yeah, possibly Wendy. Yeah, with all the mystery history stuff, they, this didn't happen like what 3,000 years ago or whatever. The big number is always 2,000 years ago. Um, yeah, and which it probably has something to do with that. Um, Wendy, I have no doubt. Um, so oh, what are you talking about, Snowy? Yeah, cool. Um, I was talking about singing, yeah. I keep getting sidetracked. It's okay, it's fun. That's what this is for. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, pseudo. This all goes together. That's why not everything is cut and dry, black and white, of what we see today. Because it all has to do with that Knights of Templar, Vikings, all this stuff. It all goes together. Um, they recycle what they do, and how they present it. It's the same thing though. But hearing it from childhood, I have to keep relearning in the right context. They give us the wrong context. That's the whole point about mystery history. And I was talking to someone about this. Um, it's not about, oh, mystery history is so fun. I mean, I like history. Exactly, Nathan. Nathan and I have talked about it. It's not, oh, this is so fun and this is cool and I'm just gonna follow whoever, um, talks about this stuff, it really is important to understand who is who and what is what. Yeah, why did they demand blood? And this was certainly a bloody scene. And it's not just like they were slitting their wrists, like, oh, cutting themselves or, whatever. This was out and out, like, nasty, gross, um, horrific. This was a horrific scene. So, okay, so when Elijah's turn came, he said, which I think the symbolism and probably the audio can come into play here. So the Most High is going to answer by fire, which I don't have the audio with me. I'm sorry. And Elijah says, douse this whole altar with water. So he said, dig a trench, fill it with water, pour the water over the bull, pour the water over the whole altar, fill up the trench with water, and then I will pray. Okay. So in verse 30, he said, after all that blood, and he probably, I bet, this just came to me, did he want to wash away all that blood? Because there was blood everywhere. He said, come over here. Okay. So he's moving over to his area to get away from that disgusting display. So then they built the trench, like I said, and he didn't just say pour it once, he said 4 times pour water over everything. Yeah, why was Abel favored? It was about the heart again, right? Heart, not the sacrifice itself. Sudo and I had a good chat. Go watch her video about Adam and Eve, the most recent one. It had a lot of interesting things in there. Side note. So he stepped forward and he said, Yah El of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, make known today that you are El in Israel, and that I'm your servant and have done all these things by your instructions. Answer me, Yah, answer me. So instructions are step by step. Again, what I said, we can follow the Spirit's leading step by step, not formulaically. Is that a word? Step by step. Okay. Answer me, Yah, answer me. Then these people will know that you, Yah, are El, and that you are winning back their hearts. It's not about their mind, it's about their heart. Everything comes back to your heart. So a fire from Yah. Why do you think I use that fire heart emoji all the time? I'm being facetious. You know I love you guys. That is why I use it. I'm missing all your comments, sorry. So a fire from Yah fell down and consumed the burnt offering, wood, stones, and dirt. Everything. The fire even dried up the water that was in the trench. All the people saw it and immediately bowed down to the ground. Yah is El, they said. Yah is El. Elijah told them, seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let any of them escape. The people seized them, and Elijah took them to the Kishon River and slaughtered them there. Some more bloodshed. Ooh, I almost spilled my coffee. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, I'm making a mess. And so now the drought is going to end. This is the point I was going to make to pseudo what spoke to me when you were talking about drought. So, like, along with, I guess this stuff comes full circle. It must be the Holy Spirit because I can't do it. So, um, oh yeah, Wendy. We had some good discussions about what was in there. So, um, and why it's probably not canon, but it's still interesting. Uh, so full circle, it comes. Oh, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, drought. Kind of like what I was talking about with singing. I had like a drought in my life, and haruspex. What is that? Definition, please. Haruspex. Is that what you put? When you have drought. So drought means. Sorry, my coffee did spill. So hold on. Drought means you feel dried up. You feel some things. I know. Sorry, Tony. I was putting it in the cup holder and it slipped. Um, just when you feel dry from life, you you're parched, you're seeking, you're thirsty. Drought. You know what drought means in your life. So that's what singing is for me when I hit points in my life where I'm not feeling like myself. It causes a drought in how I can, live and what truly live who I'm needing to be. And the same with you, I would encourage. So the same with this drought came. Now this is a cause and effect. Not so much, I'm not going to harp on or focus on the commands that weren't followed. It was just the general life dedication and, like you said, devotion to the true Yah, the true Most High, caused a drought. And obviously, when they said, which it's funny that Israel constantly goes back and wants these miracles and signs. Oh, now that we saw fire from heaven, like all those art depictions, we see the fire from heaven. Oh, now he's the true God. But Elijah was the one, he was the driving force of taking care of the evil in the land. He was the leader. So they then killed all the prophets of Baal, and eventually, Jezebel also died. So at this point, that's when the drought ends. Then Elijah told Ahab, "Get up and drink. It sounds like heavy rain is coming." Ahab got up to eat and drink. So now the king is listening to the prophet. Elijah went to the top of Carmel and bowed down on the ground to pray. He said to his servant, "Please go back to Mount Carmel and look toward the sea." He went up, looked, came back, and said, "There's nothing." 7 times Elijah told him, "Go back." After the 7th time, the servant said, "A little cloud like a man's hand is coming from the sea." I feel like that might have been how it looked, like a man's hand, right? Elijah said, "Go and tell Ahab, prepare your chariot and leave before the rain delays you." Gradually the sky grew darker with clouds and wind, and there was a heavy rain. Ahab got into his chariot to go back to Jezreel. Yah's power was on Elijah. He hiked up his robe and ran ahead of Ahab until they came to Jezreel. Ahab told Jezebel everything Elijah had done. I'm surprised that she wasn't there for this whole display. That's always kind of interesting to me. Yeah, Kaf is hand. It was the hand of Yah bringing the rain, bringing the refreshing, right? Not the chaos, bringing the rain. 7 is Yah's number. It's a heavenly number. That's all I know. I do love numbers. I did do names of God word study about 10 years ago. No, 11 years ago. So yeah, 7 is a heavenly number. So yeah, I'm surprised Jezebel wasn't there for the whole prophets versus Elijah thing. Yeah, completion. 3 is completion also. Okay. So then Jezebel sent a messenger. I'm in chapter 19 now, actually. Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah. She said, "May the gods strike me dead if by this time tomorrow I don't take your life the way you took the lives of Baal's prophets." So, of course, she's not saying that. She's cussing him out, too. She's saying, "I will kill you." Frightened. Okay, so now he's spiritually drained, right? So he was afraid. He was more afraid of Jezebel, which is well known within scholarly circles. Jezebel was way worse than Ahab. And that's why they talk about the Jezebel spirit a lot. I think the church is a driving force of the Jezebel spirit. She was the driving force between anything that was promoted in paganism in that time or in those nations, which the church likes to put on women that don't be a Jezebel, and men don't be Ahabs, and Ahab followed his wife and all this stuff. I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, she was more evil, so he was afraid of her. Yeah, David. So Elijah fled for his life. He came to Beersheba in Judah and left his servant there. Then he traveled the wilderness for a day. He sat down under a broom plant and wanted to die. "I've had enough now, Yah," he said. "Take my life. I'm no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down and slept under the broom plant. An angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." When he looked, he saw near his head, some bread baked on hot stones and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and went to sleep again. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Afterwards, Elijah was just refreshed. So, Jezebel, yeah, it is a spirit, and I do believe, and I saw a video recently, it was more of a churchy video. They were saying, watch out for this Jezebel spirit in the church, but I would contend the church is the Jezebel spirit. Being the driving force where they are leading people away from the leading of the spirit, which is what I was talking about. I love the way these conversations just go full circle. So the church itself is the Jezebel spirit. It's funny that the church people won't see that. I had a vision, the last vision I had in church, not that I have them a lot. How long ago was this? Time just moves really fast now. I feel like it still should be 2019. I'm trying to remember too. I had a vision when I was sitting in church, of everybody sitting in the church, in the pews or the chairs, whatever. And I'm definitely, yeah, pseudo. I agree. 2010. I loved 2010. 2010 was where I did deep dive into Elijah, and like I said in my other video, I a lot of things I processed in 2010 are coming back up again now, but it's different because thank ya, I'm in a better place now. Anyway, um yeah, I love 2010. 2010 to 2019. Oh, 2012 was really strange. But anyways, um oh, good pseudo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's because your early 30s to 40, past 40, uh, are good times. Yeah, Ezekiel. So, what was I saying? What was I saying, guys? I don't use the term Lord. Okay, I had a vision. Um, nope. There's no Lord because no one lords over you. If someone is lording over you, they shouldn't be. I'll say it now. No one should lord over anybody, spiritual or physical. Hallelujah, Wendy. I like my 40s. Bring it on. Okay. In my vision, I was sitting in church. Everyone else was sitting also, but they were blank and they were empty and they had been emptied and they didn't know what to do with themselves. They were sitting there like statues, empty. And I never forgot that vision because that is what the church is. It is not filled with the Spirit. And they will never be. Um, they will never be because there is no formula. Yeah, like statues. Because they are following other spirits. Oh, here we go. All full circle. Um, They will be like statues because they have followed the idols, because they have been following Jezebel, the church system. There you go. That was cool. I didn't come up with that in any way. It's not just the coffee. There you go. So that was what my vision was about 8, 9 years ago. Um, and yeah, bam. So, yep, full circle. There is no formula to follow. Yeah, hug a tree. I know, right? My daughter does hug trees. She did when we were at the zoo. We were at Lincoln Park Zoo. I don't know, like 4 years ago, and we were walking back to the car, and um, she just stopped and hugged the tree, and I loved it because that it gives you, grounding, which she probably needed. But like I've always said, children have those instincts, and she has those instincts because of her atypical things. Um, but she's gifted that way. So she's just like, I'm gonna hug this tree. I must need something. She didn't say it, Must have been maybe the spirit's commanding. Anyways, um, yep. There's the message. I didn't even know there was gonna be a message. But yeah, I haven't had too many visions, dreams. If you don't follow your instinct, you're what? I didn't hear what the second part of that. Did you mean to type that, Wendy? But yeah, follow your instincts, which means follow your gut, which means follow the spirit in your mind, and your body will follow. Hey, forever. Tony does know trees. We are like trees, right? It's our whole system, our whole nervous system, our the way our body is. made. So that's a cool truck. Not a truck. What else? I can keep going. I probably should go home. I can't just sit in my car for 2 hours. His mindful exposures. Hi. Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Oh, pseudo. It's not me. It's yeah. It's not me. It's tremendous. Yes. It's not me. Believe me, I struggle a lot. I never. Oh, 11, 11, 11 people, 11 likes. Um, it's not me. It's not me. And I am honest with you. Yeah, I can keep some anonymity about life, but I'm pretty open. Um, you know why though, pseudo? Because you have to be open to it. You have to ask, seek, and you'll find. You'll find the answers. Whether he commands you like the woman, puts it on your heart, or and you don't really know why, but or else you intentionally know why, right? Um, that I keep saying, like any truth, you have to be ready for it. You have to first say, again, the step by step, you have to say, yes, I'm ready. And then when something is presented, you say, okay, now what? And then you just keep going. Just like with dreams, you don't interpret dreams unless you're ready. But who makes you ready? The spirit makes you ready. Not all dreams mean the same thing. Are there formulas to dreams? Probably not. It's very specific to the person. Um, we can't know it all, but I'm just here. And as I say, I'm just me. I'm gonna stop now. I think it's a good stopping place at 11:11. And what else? Does anybody else have anything to say? Not about me. I don't want it to be about me. I will share the truth that I had with someone else, and I'll share it with you too for anyone else that might need it. It was for the specific person. But I will share with you from last time. So we did Proverbs 3, 5 through 8, and I said how um I love you too, Wendy. So I'll answer your question in a minute forever. Um so Proverbs 3, 5 through 8 talks about trusting with your heart. And then it really just says your body will follow. So it talks about everything in your body from the sinews to the muscles to the bones. And so I was telling someone that when you trust him with all your heart, and I'm not going to say it the same way I did to this person because um, it just flowed. Like I said, the spirit told me exactly for that person. Um, but basically that when you're trusting and and that's where that formula word came in. I used that formula word. There's no formula that the church will give you that will make everything go in motion, because they stop at Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. They don't read the rest and see that in step by step order. You see what I'm saying? There's a step by step way to do things sometimes, or just taking literally one step at a time in life, or proverbial one step at a time in life. um, and not following a command necessarily, but just following his word in your life, in your heart, and then you go forward. But after you move forward, there's no formula. It's just going step by step to your healing. So then you have to go step by step. And I call it like a piece by piece, putting truth together for your specific situation. And then you have healing in your body. This person needed specific healing in a specific place in his body, and they had a specific injury from a specific traumatic time in their life, and so it all went together like that. But so like I said, it's, and that's where that word, that's where I initially had said the word formula or formulaic, right, David? I know. And that's why I made this the title also. And for whatever reason, First Kings 17 about the widow and Elijah going to her house went along with that. I don't even know where that came from. Like I said, the Spirit just did it, and I was like, okay. And look at how that came together. So I don't know. How's my new job going? It's going well. So half of my job, I don't want to be too specific because I'll keep the anonymity about it. I'm in a leadership position now. And it's half of it, half of the job description is what I'm used to, meaning how to figure out what's best for children in the setting I'm in, to help those struggling children in where they need to be, where they need help, where they need to work on things, reading or math. So that part is my passion and easy. I can, based on my experience, I can pinpoint where children need the most help and why. And then I will, the part that I'm more familiar with is I would be building a program. We use iPads at work to help the children. So, yeah, it's, yeah, I'm working for a tutoring business. I do tutor. That's why I got this job. I was a tutor there first, and then they asked if I wanted this director position. So I'll tell you that my title is Director of Education. So part of my job is building those programs for those children being tutored. And then my other, so that part I know a lot about. That part of pinpointing what children need in their learning plans, I know very well. And all those frequency things and everything, I really can pinpoint just what a child struggles with and why. I can pick up on people's personalities pretty easily, so that helps also. Atypical needs also, that's also why they hired me. I can pinpoint how children learn when they're atypical, but that's not educational on my end. I didn't take those kinds of classes. I just learned through experience and through my daughter. And then the other part of my job that is challenging is, like I said at the beginning of this stream, I'm looking at a lot of data. So there is a sales component to this job also. And there's also, so there's data in that, and there's numbers in that, which isn't my strong point, but I'm learning. And thankfully they're patient with me. I've just been doing training the last 3 weeks and observing. So, thankfully, I mean, there's two directors. There's one director for the business, and then there's me who does the education side, but I have to know all of it. So the sales part has been harder because it's just out of my wheelhouse. And then I do have to look at data of tracking how the children are doing within the program. Yeah, Wendy. So that part of looking at data, even though I understand in part, it hasn't been a part of my daily life. So I will be learning how to track data daily, weekly, and monthly, and then yearly. So praise Yah, he gives me, I mean, I know I can do it. It just takes a lot of time to get used to that sales and data input and output. So yeah, it's a big job. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's hard, but that's why I wanted it. I wanted a challenge. So it's going well. Overall, it's a long-winded way to say it's going well. It's not easy. Um, a lot of moving pieces. So, speaking of Aquarius, I misspoke, and Wendy is an Aquarius. Yeah, so this job is fun too, and you get to know parents and children. So, hey Morgan, but this is probably some kind of um, I'm sorry, not some kind of. It's a place in my career where I wanted to be, and like I said before, it's more of a corporate kind of job. I mean, we have to talk to corporate people once a week and all this. Hey Bruce, have a good day. Blessings to you too. So, um, I don't like that part of it, and like I said, the sales part of it. Even though what we do is valuable, it's it's just part of the world. You know, so that's why I like doing Friday lives for now. Helps me talk about the real reverberations of life, just and not looking at data. Which I really like the data. It's actually very hold on one sec. Um sorry. Oh, my phone froze. Can you still see me? Ah, my phone is freezing up. Am I still live? Oh, buddy. Uh-oh. Come back. It says I'm still live, but the screen is blank. There you go. Sorry. Okay, good. Yeah, I do like data. Yeah, and we see it on the back end. We don't see it in the front of the house. We would just see it on our end. So it is interesting. I do love it, and I love I like um, seeing how the program works itself out, and then I like, of course, seeing the children. The main takeaway for our company is to have every child be successful. So, yeah, it's different. It's different than teaching. I'm using both sides of my brain pretty regularly now, which is very uh, tiring. Yeah, it's not No Child Left Behind because it's an interesting situation here in Indiana. We got a lot of, and then you see the big, everyone says it's politics, which it is, but yeah, they've screwed over education, obviously, and I don't like the education field for what it is. But this is why children suffer, and it takes a toll on the whole person. Um, and these children, I mean, I could go into it. You don't want to be bored with that. I'm not, I'm not going to go on all the ins and outs for that, but yeah, it was BS, and that's why I got out of the classroom. I'd much rather help children in who they are and showing them their strengths, um, and showing them their successes as a whole person and as um, in academics that we all have to do. You have to go and get educated. And then, of course, we always have to relearn and unlearn a lot. But it's good to know both sides. I don't know. But I'm a big proponent. You have to understand math, and you have to understand, you have to read. How you have to do those things to know truth and to unlearn those things. So if ever a child comes across things that we in this community understand, how are you going to do that without understanding math and reading first? That's why it's important to me. Not because you're going to, a lot of these high school students come in wanting their ACT and SAT stuff, and, who cares? But that's the way the world is. I don't promote it. I have to help them, or, I don't prep them. I'm not a high school. I don't do upper level stuff, but I'm there to set them up, you know, just basically. But I'm not, I'm not a math person either. I think I can only go up to like maybe some 6th grade math. Mm-mm. I can stop at algebra 1. Oh, you're an algebra tutor? Yeah, I think algebra 1. Hey, Jonathan, I saw you. Um, no, algebra 1's about as high as I can go. I mean, we have a couple students that are into finite. I don't even remember. I mean, I've heard of it. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it is. We got a couple high level math tutors. I do not touch that. What the I don't know what finite is. I mean, I know. Anyways, we're not going there. I'm elementary ed. Um, so yeah, that's how my job is going. And there's late nights. I'm there either till 7:30, and then some nights I'm there till 8:30. So I'm off on Fridays for now, but soon I'll be going in on Fridays. So this Friday morning stuff will have to be put on hold. But I didn't see what you said, Morgan. I'm sorry. You talking about finite? Oh, not left with. Oh yeah, I don't even know. Kudos to all those math people. I am not a math person. I'm very much more of a word person. But like I said, I like data. I like lows and averages and highs. That's all good stuff. I can understand percentages and stuff. Modes and means, I can understand that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to be done. This is just getting silly, guys. Okay, so how do I stop this on the side? Oh, that's how I do it. I would just X out. Oh, you can do mental math, Tony? Well, kudos to you even. I have no idea. Yeah, finding patterns, which is perfect for you, Wendy. Yeah. So, blessings. Thanks for joining me. Oh, now I have 15. I've got nothing. But I'm done. I think I'm done. Okay, blessings. Happy Friday.